Marcus Aurelius once imparted the wisdom that our power resides within our minds, not in the external events that surround us. This realization serves as an anchor in the turbulent seas of our emotions. Join us as we embark on a journey to explore 7 Stoic lessons, each a key to mastering your emotions and navigating life's tempests with unwavering resolve. Before we commence, I kindly ask for your support by liking this video, as it aids in spreading the Stoic philosophy. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please do so and hit the bell icon to stay updated with our content. Lesson 1. Grasp the realm of control. Picture this scenario. You're organizing an outdoor event, and despite your meticulous planning, rain decides to pour. The weather, however, is beyond your control. What you can command, though, is your reaction. You could choose to lament the rain or adapt, perhaps moving the event indoors or viewing the rain as a refreshing change. Epictetus, the Stoic philosopher, summarized this beautifully. Some things are in our control, and others not. At first glance, this may seem simple, but within this simplicity lies profound wisdom that can transform our lives. Each day, we encounter countless situations. Some fall within our sphere of influence, like our routines, reading choices, and social circles, while others lay beyond our reach. Global events, the actions of others, the relentless passage of time, and of course, the capricious weather. The Stoics believe that our well-being hinges not on external circumstances, but on how we interpret and respond to them. It's not the event itself, but our judgment of the event that generates our emotions. Reflect on a past setback. Perhaps you missed out on a job opportunity. Initially, it felt like a catastrophe, yet over time you recognized it as a blessing in disguise, leading to a superior opportunity or personal growth. To put this into practice, ask yourself, is this within my control? If it is, act. If it's not, embrace acceptance and adaptability. By internalizing this principle, we liberate ourselves from unwarranted anguish. We can navigate life with tranquility, understanding that although we cannot govern the winds, we can certainly adjust our sails. Amidst life's chaos, the realm of control becomes a beacon of clarity, reminding us to channel our energies where they count and to find serenity in acknowledging that some things remain beyond our grasp. Lesson 2. Deliberate. Before you react. Lesson number 2 urges us to pause and ponder before reacting, an art often overlooked in our fast-paced digital era. Yet, this act of reflection can be our savior in a world that demands swift responses. Consider the numerous choices we encounter daily, both minor and monumental, from selecting a restaurant meal to charting a career path. It's not solely the magnitude of these choices that carries significance, it's the approach we take. Now, envision a common scenario, reading a message that triggers you, whether a colleague critiques your work or a friend makes a careless remark. The instinctual response may be defensiveness or anger. But what if, instead of diving headlong into this emotional whirlpool, you paused? This act of momentary detachment doesn't suppress your emotions. Rather, it grants them space to breathe and be understood. This reflective practice doesn't advocate passive acceptance or avoidance. It encourages active engagement with our thoughts and feelings. It involves probing questions like, why did this remark affect me so deeply? What underlying beliefs or past experiences influence my present emotions? Does my immediate reaction stem from the current situation or past baggage? Moreover, pre-reflection is a tool for nurturing empathy. By affording ourselves time, we also afford ourselves the opportunity to empathize with the perspectives of others. Perhaps that colleague had a trying day, or that friend didn't grasp the impact of their words. By engaging in reflection, we not only unlock understanding for ourselves, but also for those around us. In relationships, this practice can be foundational. How many miscommunications could be averted by simply taking a moment to deliberate before reacting? How many bridges could be built instead of burned? In essence, pondering before reacting is more than a mere practice. It is a philosophy, a way of life that champions depth over surface-level reactions, understanding over impulsiveness, and meaningful connections over fleeting encounters. It is an inner journey with profound external ramifications, shaping not only our responses, but the very fabric of our existence. Lesson 3. Embrace detachment with equanimity. Lesson number 3 encourages us to practice detachment with equanimity. In a world that often resembles an emotional roller coaster, this concept may seem out of place, but its true essence lies in its transformative potential. Detachment, in this context, does not imply stifling emotions or apathy towards the world. It signifies cultivating a balanced perspective, a state of tranquility amidst life's storms. Imagine being able to observe events, circumstances, and even your own emotions without becoming engulfed by them. Think back to watching an engaging movie. As you immersed yourself in the plot, you felt moments of tension, excitement, perhaps even sadness. However, you knew it was just a movie. You didn't rush to rescue the hero or console a distressed character. You observed, you felt, but you remained seated in your own space. This exemplifies the essence of practicing detachment with equanimity, wholeheartedly participating in life, experiencing its myriad emotions, yet knowing when to stay seated in the theater of your own mind, observing without becoming ensnared in the drama. In our modern era, with its ceaseless influx of news updates and notifications, reacting fervently to each piece of information can lead to perpetual exhaustion. Detachment offers a buffer, enabling us to interact with the world in a more sustainable and balanced manner. Furthermore, practicing detachment plays a pivotal role in our interactions with others, particularly in conflict situations. We've all found ourselves in heated conversations, disagreements escalating. In these moments, the ability to detach allows us to listen more effectively, respond thoughtfully, and navigate conflicts with understanding and grace. Cultivating detachment begins with self-awareness. Regularly introspecting, recognizing emotional triggers, and comprehending our behavioral patterns create a space between stimulus and reaction. In this space lies the freedom to choose our responses, acting intentionally rather than impulsively. Far from stifling our joys and pleasures, detachment enhances our ability to enjoy them. By not clinging too tenaciously to outcomes, we can wholeheartedly engage in the journey, savoring every moment without being enslaved by our desires. Therefore, practice detachment not as a means to rid your life of emotions, but as a means to engage with them more skillfully, to achieve equilibrium in a turbulent world, and to master the art of responding thoughtfully rather than reacting impulsively. Lesson 4. Welcome adversity as a mentor. Lesson number 4 beckons us to embrace adversity. Stoicism is often dubbed the philosophy for hard times, and it is precisely during these challenging moments that the true strength of welcoming adversity shines through. Recall some of the most trying times in your life: the loss of a loved one, a health crisis, or a period of profound uncertainty. In these moments, the natural inclination may be to seek an escape route, yearn for swift resolution, or wish for a smoother path. Yet, the Stoics argue that adversity is not merely an unavoidable facet of life, but a valuable teacher. It is in facing these hardships that we uncover our strength, resilience, and character. As Seneca, a prominent Stoic philosopher, stated, "Difficulties strengthen the mind, as labor does the body." The Stoics believe that the challenges we encounter are neither inherently good nor bad. They simply are. It is our judgment of these challenges that assigns meaning to them. Rather than viewing adversity as an adversary to be shunned, we can choose to perceive it as an opportunity for growth. Consider this analogy. Picture a tree growing in a lush, temperate environment. Its branches may be fragile, its roots shallow because it never contends with the forces of wind, rain, or drought. In contrast, a tree that flourishes on a rugged mountainside withstands these elements, and in response develops deep, sturdy roots and resilient branches. Likewise, when we embrace adversity, we nurture the strength and resilience required to endure life's tempests. We become more adaptable, better prepared to confront future challenges, and more empathetic toward others navigating their own trials. Embracing adversity does not entail seeking out hardship for its own sake. It entails recognizing that life's difficulties are an inherent part of the human experience. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" inquire, "What can I learn from this experience? How can I grow through this?" In moments of adversity, Stoicism advises us to preserve our inner tranquility, concentrate on what is within our control, and remember that even the darkest night will ultimately yield to dawn. Therefore, the next time you find yourself grappling with adversity, perceive it not as an emblem of weakness, but as an opportunity to become stronger. Welcome it, learn from it, and allow it to mold you into a more resilient and compassionate individual. Lesson 5. Harmonize life with nature's symphony. Lesson number 5 invites us to harmonize our lives with nature. But what does this phrase truly signify, and how can it guide us in our modern world? To the Stoics, living in accordance with nature did not entail romanticizing the wilderness or reverting to a primitive lifestyle. It meant aligning our lives with the fundamental principles of the universe and our own human nature. Imagine you are a fish attempting to swim upstream against a formidable current. Despite your tremendous effort, progress is slow and exhaustion frequently sets in. Now, envision that you turn and swim with the current. Suddenly, you move effortlessly, with the current supporting your every movement. In this analogy, the current symbolizes the natural order of the universe, the way things are. When we resist this natural order, when we contend with the realities of life, we often experience frustration, suffering, and discontent. Living in accordance with nature is about recognizing these natural currents and discovering ways to align our actions and attitudes with them. It is about working with the flow of life rather than against it. Consider a few practical applications of this principle. One facet of living in accordance with nature is acknowledging the impermanence of all things. Everything in the universe is subject to change, and clinging too fervently to anything, be it material possessions, relationships, or even our own identities, can lead to suffering. By accepting life's impermanence, we can release attachments and find greater peace. Another aspect is recognizing our own nature as rational beings. We possess the ability to reason, practice self-awareness, and make moral choices. Living in accordance with this aspect of our nature entails striving to develop our rationality, nurturing wisdom, and making ethical decisions. Living in harmony with nature also involves cultivating gratitude and contentment. Instead of perpetually chasing after more, we can learn to appreciate life's simple pleasures and be content with what we have. In our contemporary world, it is easy to become ensnared in the pursuit of wealth, status, and material possessions. However, the Stoics would remind us that these external markers of success can be fleeting and ultimately unsatisfying. Genuine fulfillment arises from aligning our lives with the natural order, from living in harmony with our own nature and the universe. As you navigate your daily existence, contemplate how you can live more in accordance with nature. How can you work in harmony with life's currents rather than battling against them? How can you cultivate gratitude, wisdom, and ethical living? By doing so, you may discover a deeper sense of meaning, purpose, and fulfillment. Lesson 6. Acknowledge life's fleeting beauty. Lesson number 6 encourages us to remember the transience of life. It is a reality we often prefer to avoid or forget, that life, with all its magnificence and wonder, is fleeting. Stoicism urges us to confront this truth directly, not as a source of despair, but as a catalyst for living with greater purpose and significance. Visualize walking through a luxuriant garden, replete with vibrant blossoms. As you pause to admire a particular flower, you notice its full bloom, radiant with color and vitality. However, upon closer inspection, you also perceive that some petals are beginning to wither and fall. The bloom is ephemeral, and so is its beauty. This garden is a metaphor for life. The Stoics believe that everything in our lives, our cherished relationships, our possessions, our health, and even our very existence, is akin to those flowers, exquisite yet transient. Acknowledging life's transience can inspire a profound shift in our perspective. Instead of taking the precious moments and relationships in our lives for granted, We can approach them with profound gratitude and appreciation. We can savor each experience, cognizant that it may not endure indefinitely. Furthermore, an awareness of life's transience can serve as a potent motivator. It reminds us that our time on this earth is finite. This isn't meant to instill fear or haste, but to ignite a desire to live authentically, pursue our passions, and invest in what genuinely matters. The Stoics practiced memento mori, which translates to remember that you must die. It is not a morbid fixation on death, but a reminder that death is an integral facet of life. It beckons us to live in such a manner that, when our journey concludes, we can gaze back with a profound sense of fulfillment and purpose. In the face of life's challenges and setbacks, the awareness of our own mortality can also provide perspective. Many of the issues that occupy our thoughts daily, the minor grievances and trivial concerns, lose their potency when considered in the grand tapestry of existence. Therefore, embrace life's transience as a fount of wisdom and motivation. Live with gratitude for the present moment, ardently pursue your passions, and cultivate meaningful connections with others. Remember that time is fleeting, not to induce trepidation, but to spur you to make the most of the time you have. Lesson 7. Nurture virtue and wisdom as your North Star. Lesson number 7 invites us to nurture virtue and wisdom, qualities at the core of Stoic philosophy. The Stoics believed that these attributes were the key to living a virtuous and fulfilling life. Virtue, according to Stoicism, encompasses a multitude of moral qualities, including wisdom, courage, justice, and self-discipline. It represents the essence of living in harmony with our true nature as rational beings capable of making ethical choices. Wisdom, as understood by the Stoics, transcends mere intellectual knowledge. It is the practical ability to apply reason and judgment to everyday life. Wisdom involves discerning what lies within our control and what does not, and then making choices that align with our values and principles. The Stoics asserted that external circumstances such as wealth, fame, and health were indifferent, neither inherently good nor bad. It was the use of these external things and the character of the individual employing them that determined whether actions were virtuous. For instance, wealth could be used virtuously to aid others or support noble causes, or it could be employed selfishly and greedily. The Stoics emphasized that it was not the wealth itself that mattered, but how it was wielded and the character of the person wielding it. The Stoics believed that genuine happiness and fulfillment could be derived from living a life of virtue and wisdom. They recognized that external events were often beyond our control, but our internal attitudes and responses were entirely within our domain. By cultivating virtuous character and applying wisdom to our choices, we could attain tranquility and contentment regardless of external circumstances. Practicing virtue and wisdom necessitated continuous self-examination and self-improvement. It entailed striving to be a better individual, living in alignment with our highest values, and making choices that contributed to our own well-being and that of others. In the contemporary world, cultivating virtue and wisdom is a lifelong journey. It involves self-awareness, ethical introspection, and a commitment to personal growth. It means asking yourself questions like, am I acting in accordance with my values? Am I treating others with fairness and kindness? Am I making choices that contribute to my own well-being and the well-being of the world? Ultimately, the Stoic path to virtue and wisdom is not about achieving perfection, but about making progress and continually striving to become the best version of yourself. It is a path that leads to a life of greater meaning, fulfillment, and inner peace. In conclusion, Stoicism offers timeless wisdom that remains applicable to our modern lives. Its teachings on managing desires, embracing adversity, living in accordance with nature, acknowledging the transience of life, and cultivating virtue and wisdom provide a blueprint for living a virtuous and fulfilling life. While Stoicism was developed over 2 millennia ago, its principles endure as practical and relevant today. By incorporating these lessons into your life, you can navigate the challenges of the modern world with greater resilience, wisdom, and inner peace. Whether you seek personal growth, a deeper sense of purpose, or simply a more serene existence, consider the teachings of the Stoics as a valuable guide on your journey. If you found this video valuable and insightful, please consider subscribing to the channel, giving it a thumbs up, and sharing it with others who might benefit from these timeless teachings. Together, we can continue spreading the profound wisdom of Stoicism to enrich lives around the world. Thank you for being a part of this community.